by about 1930, about 900,000 farms to about 680,000 by 1939. Okay, and they're making funds available for white farmers to be able to pay their mortgages, but we're excluded from getting those funds so we can pay our mortgages on our farm.
Let me get back to some phones.
Yes.
Where am I? Line 3, Stacy on the east side. How are you, Stacy?
I'm fine, and how are you guys doing today?
Good, thank you.
Hey, how you doing?
I want to thank you very much for loving Trump as much as I do, and he's like a gallon of sour milk when he speaks. My thing is that how can you write a speech from these from the speech writers, and I believe everything that stroked his ego was written by him, and if you
That's
really...
the reason why he was clapping for himself.
Pardon?
It was the reason why he was clapping for himself.
And my thing is, release those taxes. Maybe there's money laundering, collusion, because he does still have family in Russia and in Germany. So let's see those taxes so this way we can put this Russian thing to rest.
But the most important thing that we need to do is vote in the midterm election, November 6, 2018. Today, Representative Trey Gowdy from South Carolina announced that he's not going to run for re-election. You have about 34 Republican members of the House of Representatives who have already announced they're not running for re-election. They see the handwriting on the wall. Democrats need to win 24 seats to take back control of the House. They take back control of the House, they're going to impeach Trump. The impeachment starts in the House of Representatives. Now, it's important for people to understand. We go back to August 9th, 1974, when Richard Nixon announced he was resigning from office, okay? Well, August 8th, he announced he was resigning. August 9th, he actually resigned about 12 p.m. Richard Nixon, articles of impeachment were drawn up by the House of Representatives. The Democrats were in control of the House and the Senate. But he was not put on trial because he resigned before this, because Republicans went to him and put pressure on him to resign. They said, basically, the jig is up. All this stuff is exposed, okay? And I think this is what's going to happen to Trump. It's very, very hard to impeach a president because you need, the articles of impeachment are drawn up in the House of Representatives, and it's based upon Article 1 and Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution. Article 2, Section 4 deals with high crimes and misdemeanors, right? But then the trial is held in the U.S. Senate, and you need 2/3 of the U.S. senators, 2/3 out of 100, to vote, that this person is guilty. So I don't know.
Do you think he will resign? I think if ego would allow him to resign?
Well, from a reliable source named Tony Schwartz. Tony Schwartz was Donald Trump's ghostwriter for the Art of the Deal. Donald Trump did not write the Art of the Deal. Google Tony Schwartz. Tony Schwartz was his ghostwriter. Tony Schwartz has done a number of interviews. He worked with Donald Trump for almost every day for about a year and a half to write the Art of the Deal. There was an article from HuffingtonPost.com, I think it was late last year, and he said he really thinks Trump is looking for a way out. See, people have to understand, Trump did not plan on actually governing and being president.
But what would that way out be?
Well, one way,
aside from the TV,
Well, one way would be to resign. Now, his ego will come in.
Oh, you mean from the president?
Yeah,
okay.
but here's the thing: when you got a blue wave coming and they take control of the House of Representatives, they're gonna impeach him, and you're gonna have some Republicans that tell him, look, you need to resign because he doesn't want to be put on trial, because if he lies, that's perjury.
Right.
And this man has a strange relationship with the truth. Timothy O'Brien wrote the book Trump Nation. Trump sued Timothy O'Brien for this book. In 2007, there was a lawsuit. So Timothy O'Brien's attorney puts Trump under a deposition. So if you lie during a deposition, that's perjury. They caught Trump in 30 different lies. Bloomberg.com, Timothy O'Brien. People Google Timothy O'Brien. See, this is documented. I don't come here unarmed. I come with a weapon, okay? Bloomberg.com, Timothy O'Brien wrote an article about this. I follow Timothy O'Brien on Twitter, and he has the article on his Twitter page. They caught Trump in 30 different lies. One of the lies they call him in, and Washington Post has the fact-checking on this, is that under deposition, Trump said his father loaned him about $9 million, not $1 million. That's one of the lies. They also found out that his father bought $3.5 million worth of casino gaming chips from one of his casinos, but didn't cash them in, which is illegal. To put money off the books into his casino.
Right.
See, these are things. So when you actually study this guy, man, I'm sitting back watching this. I'm like, man, this is some gangster stuff.
Yeah.
I've never seen gangsters like this. Al Capone don't have nothing on Trump. This is a straight up mob thug gangster. This is who Trump is.
Line 4, Brandon and Belleville. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
So, everybody. So one of the things is, Spud, you're doing a great job. Michael, I appreciate you.
Hey, thanks, brother.
I appreciate you responding back to the slave Walter, who we have calling in on.
Hey, man, let's not even mention the brain dead, man. Go ahead with your comment. Don't waste major time on minor people, man. Go ahead with your comment.
Well, the big deal is it just casts doubt, and that's what his goal is.
Mm-hmm.
But I want the second thing that you said about Dr. Carter G. Woodson.
Yes, sir.
I have a business called Greatness Camp that we work with to replicate his ideas of taking students and actually buying life insurance policies and working through those kids to make it work.
Oh, wow.
Also, James P. Pennington is a runaway fugitive slave.
Mm-hmm.
To your point, Michael, that talks about how important education was. And James C. Pennington was actually accepted into Yale, but wasn't allowed to actually go to classes and never received a degree or became a congressional minister and is now being recognized. So, Michael, stay with where you at.
Oh, thanks,
I thought you was going to burn him up with your thing, which is proper documentation.
Oh, we ain't had time for that, man. I provided sources. If he can't read, he can write them down, man. I provided sources. But come out this Saturday and Sunday, Nandy's Knowledge Cafe, 71 Oakman Avenue.
Bring your students too, man. Bring your kids.
It's a free event. Donations accepted. Saturday is 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday is 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Sunday, I'm going to deal with the light of ancient Egypt awakens the African mind.
Michael, I'll be there, and I want you to speak to the kids in Detroit.
Okay, absolutely.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, Brandon. Let me see, where am I at? Line 2, Chris in Chesterfield. How are you? Oh, I'm sorry. Line 5, Harry on the east side.
Hello, how are you guys doing?
Hey, Harry, how you doing, man?
All right. I was just calling to find out. I listened to Michael and you guys telling about the history and everything, and I wanted to know two things. Like Trump's speech last night,
Mm-hmm.
I guess your opinion of it was really, really bad. And
that's based upon the fact check. That's based upon fact checking his statements. Go ahead.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, at the same time, 75% of CBS viewers approved the speech, and 43% of Democrats approved of the speech, along with 97% of Republicans. So, and 72% of independents. And this was all on the CBS poll.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just wondering if you think the memo that you're ready to bring out showing that the whole Russian thing was made up by FBI conspiracy conspiring with the Clinton campaign to discredit Trump before the election and after the election. They have the concrete proof. They say in this memo. And I was just wondering, if you think this has something to do with why Americans in general approve this speech. And I just wonder if there's any point where you guys are going to, get on board and try to work with the administration to get the most out of
let me ask you a question. Number one, what percentage of those people actually read the fact checking on Trump's statements before they were polled?
Well, there's a bunch of fact checks put out by different people that show different, results. I'm just saying what people think.
My question. Listen to my question. My question is, what percentage of those people who were polled that you cited actually read the fact checking on the veracity of his statements before they were polled? If you don't know what percentage, just say you don't know.
CBS did not. Oh, I do know that CBS did not think it was necessary to ask that question, sir.
So what I do is, when I judge a speech, I judge it based upon the veracity of the statements. And I use multiple fact-checking sources. I don't just use one.
And the second question is, who did they poll?
What do you think about the facts in the memo?
Well, first of all, the memo hasn't been released yet.
I'm saying, what do you think about the facts?
You can't say, well, number one, the memo was put together by Devin Nunes, okay? Republican who's the head of
And
the.
what do you think about the facts?
I'm asking. You can't say. You can't. You can't. Oh, slow down. Slow down. You can't say what do I think about the facts.
It hasn't been released.
When we don't know what the facts are because it hasn't been released yet. It hasn't been released yet.
You don't know. They said that the Clinton paid for the Russian dossier, which was furnished as evidence to the FISA court to get them to swear out warrants.
Well, number one, we already know.
Start the whole Russia investigation.
Now you're conflating two different things, okay? We already know that at one point, the Hillary Clinton campaign paid for the dossier. That's after an unnamed Republican contender started out paying for it, okay? That was from Fusion GPS, okay? So it was first a Republican contender. Slow down. You asked me a question. I'm answering your question. So first you had a Republican contender. Then you had the Hillary Clinton campaign who pays for it. It's oppositional research. Okay. Now, to say that the whole Russian thing is a hoax, well, first of all, no, slow down. You asked me a question. I'm asking you a question. If you don't want me to answer, don't ask.
But you're saying stuff that's not true.
No.
I'm stop you as you go.
No. What did I say that wasn't true?
Okay, the whole how you're characterizing the memo as being paid for by some Republicans.
Not the memo, the dossier, the 35-page dossier. The memo and the dossier are two different things. The memo, the dossier has been released. Well, slow down. If you don't want me to answer your question, don't answer. No. Slow down.
You asked me what was incorrect, and I'm trying to answer you.
But you're conflating what I'm saying. Go ahead and succinctly say.
Have you read the memo, Harry?
The memo hasn't been released yet. He doesn't know what it's talking about.
Have you read the memo?
The memo hasn't been released yet.
Okay, let me get to this. So let me wrap this up. So Harry, let me ask you this question. So you said when?
After it's just released.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second. So you said when are we going to get on board? What do you mean by that?
I mean that sitting up daily and complaining about somebody's worldview. Why can't we be like the Jewish people? They didn't say, Trump is the devil, Clinton is God, and if Trump wins.
So let me ask you a question. So you mean to tell me, so you're telling me, hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So you're telling me that Jewish people don't have an issue with Trump? You mean to tell me that Jewish people are just going along? Because I have plenty of Jewish friends and people I know that's not on the Trump train.
Right, and as a race, they did not come out with some position that if anybody differs, you're automatically shunned.
Well, first of all, Jews are not a race, so you're wrong right there. Jews are not a race. Number one. Number two, okay. Trump has a strong antipathy. Trump has a strong antipathy for African Americans. We can go back to 1973 when he and his father were sued by the judge. No, you ask. No. If you don't want me to answer your question, don't ask.
What does that have to do with it?
Well, I'm explaining it to you.
Let me wrap this up.
So here's what it has to do. Trump is a white supremacist.
Right. So here's what it has to do
Trump is a white supremacist, and he's putting together policies that are harmful to African Americans. He's putting together policies that are very harmful to African Americans.
So the Russian conversation turns into Trump is a white conspiracist, and that's it.
No. Wait. Harry, let me end the conversation.
You asked me,
Harry. The first thing we were talking about, we haven't said anything about the collusion with Russia or anything like that. The only thing that we have talked about is the speech last night. That's it. So I don't know where you're getting. Hold on.
I wanted to know what your reaction was to the memo.
Hold on. We haven't got to the memo. So when the memo
hasn't been released yet.
When the memo is released, I'll have Michael back.
Publicizing what's in the news.
Okay. So and they've also the Republicans also blocked the Democrats from releasing their rebuttal to it also.
No, they didn't, Ryan.
They did. No. They did.
So the bottom line there is, and if you're looking for us to get on the Trump train, we're not going to get in the Trump train.
And unless Ryan did it in the last hour.
Okay.
Can Ryan do it in the last hour?
All right, I got to keep it moving. Thank you so very much, Harry. I appreciate your call today.
It's the same clown that called in at the other show.
Line 2, Chris in Chesterfield.